Awesome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the First Family of Vegas show, daily free picks winner show. That's right, guys. The First Family of Vegas show is coming to you every weekday on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, joined by some of the world's best documented handicappers and biggest sports bettors. It's brought to you by the best website in the business on the planet, your one-stop sports betting shop, SportsMemo. We're going to be releasing a ton of free pick winners, some great betting insights, and have a few laughs too. So join us each weekday so we can improve your bankroll. We have a great show for you today. It's a Monday all-star panel, guys. It's a great way to kick off the week. Let's bring him on. They call him the professor. Dan, the man, Kaiser. Good morning, Dan. How are you?
Doing good, Joe. It's good to be back. I think I talked to you more than I talked to my son, and he's just an hour and a half away. But yeah, it's always good to be back, and I think you brought me some good luck lately, as I've been having a very good run since I've been on your show.
Well, I'll tell you what, very good is an understatement. Number one the last 3 days, number one the last 7 days. Overall at SportsMemo. Dan Kaiser is killing bookmakers. It's a good thing he's not a real American citizen and he lives in Canada. I'm just kidding. We all know you live in Michigan. But I'm glad to have you on. Let's do a little bit of, how I start every show, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been aggravating Dionne for about the last 40 minutes. So, what you're seeing here is all acting. No, I'm just kidding. She loves me no matter what. Right, Dee?
Can I plead the fifth?
Well, you're Sicilian. You could take the fifth. It's a natural when a Sicilian takes the fifth. I've been driving her crazy all morning. We've been kind of rushing today. I get up about 1 a.m. every day, and today I stretch it to a very late, like 2 a.m. And I've got to tell you, it throws my whole game plan off. But while most people in the world, let alone in this business, are fast asleep in their beds, Joe D is up and working. That's why I've not just achieved a level of success I've achieved, but maintained it for 25 years, documented now. I've been doing this for 45 years since I'm 10 years old with football sheets in the schoolyard, and I own a grammar school. And then when I went to St. Joseph's, my parents split up in like 81, 82, and I went to St. Joseph's. I still had those football sheets. Having said that, a little bit of fluff, not a lot. The First Family Show is on its own YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe. Ring that bell so you don't miss a single show. There's a couple of things I want to talk about, and being that there's just Dionne, and myself today, we can go round table it. Dionne, the NCAA has 4 number 1 seeds in the Final Four. What do you got to say about that, Dionne?
I think that's crazy. I don't even remember the last time that's happened.
Dan, I didn't do any research on it, but when was the last time 4 number 1 seeds hit the Final Four? Do you know offhand?
It was the last time they played in San Antonio. I know that. I can't remember the year.
How long ago was that?
I don't know.
It'd be a long time, no?
Gotta be a while.
I've heard it a few times. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just didn't retain
I don't remember the last time. Anybody out there watching, chime in, let us know. I didn't do any research, but I just 4 number 1s,
I think that's crazy.
What's funny too? If I'm not mistaken, I saw somebody post something that in the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, not a single underdog won outright. How about that, Dan?
Wow.
I didn't do my research on that. That's not confirmed, but I saw a post on that. I don't think we have anything to dispute that, do we, Dan?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Not off the top of my head. And by the way, just to let you guys know, it looks like I tinkled myself. I put on these jeans. I went to grab something in the garage. I needed in the garage, and I brushed up against something else, and I had to wipe it down. So just want you to know, it's really annoying me. Just want you to know that. Having said all that.
Yeah, Joe, back on that. I listened to a couple of local sports stations out of Chicago, and they're always sponsored by Circa. I know he's had bookmakers on from there, and they said, we're getting pounded because all the favorites are winning. They're getting pounded on money line parlays.
I got to be honest.
Everybody's betting the favorites on the money line, and they were all covering, and they were just getting pounded.
I got to be honest with you, Dan. I looked at our own Las Vegas Review Journal. We have one newspaper for the state of Nevada, which is funny. I'm here 35 years. This is my home, but I came from New York City. My family was in the newspaper business. They were all union bosses. My father was a union boss, all my uncles, my cousins. And I have to tell you, forget about in New York City alone, we probably had English-speaking dailies, probably 18 or 20 or 24 English-speaking dailies. Then we had El Diario, which was Spanish-speaking. We had Chinese, Japanese. We had a whole bunch of other dailies. But we have one newspaper here in the state, and I saw something very quickly because we do it online now. We don't get it delivered. That's a whole other story. We get it online. It says something about the books. My good buddy Todd Dewey, I think, wrote up books got crushed again this weekend in basketball because all the bettors, all the favorites are winning. We don't, it's the first time in 35 years. And I write for the Las Vegas Review Journal. But, Dan, I got to tell you, we've got 3 cars, all right? We have a 1-year-old Maserati, a 1972 Ford Mustang hatchback, and we have a 1.5-year-old now. It's a year and a half old?
Year and a half.
Year and a half old Cadillac. And I parked the Cadillac in the driveway. That's what we do our daily stuff in. And it's a white Cadillac with a beige or cream and a black interior. It's a gorgeous car. Dark tinted windows. As a matter of fact, I had to lighten the tint because they gave me limo tint. I couldn't see through it even in the daytime. So, but I parked in the driveway. And every couple of days, the paper is sitting on top of my hood or my roof. And it drives me crazy. All right. So I stopped at the delivery. All right, I get this car wash. I own a car wash a few blocks away. And by the way, I pay in my own car wash. I pay like $35 a month for unlimited. And I get it waxed every 7 to 14 days. And every couple of days, the paper is sitting on my roof of my truck. It drives me crazy. So we stopped getting delivery. All right. But I talk about the Review Journal because I've been writing for them pro bono for 25 years. It's a good paper. But my good buddy Todd Dewey, he's been on our CBS show 1,000 times. He put an article there that bettors are crushing the books. And you're right, Dan. They're betting these favorites on the money line. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how many points you're laying. In some of the games this weekend, we had a 5.5 game. And I know they pounded the favorite on the money line. Yep. But let's go into a couple of other things. I want to talk about baseball real quick. 4 undefeated teams, the Yankees, Dodgers, Padres, and Cardinals. There's a couple of winless teams, but what stands out to me, Dan and Dionne, Atlanta Braves, which so many, and obviously, guys, we're only a week into the season, really.
They're winless right now.
They're winless, 0-4. They've been getting thumped. Are winless. Any comments on that, Dan?
Yeah, what they lost. They lost a couple of their, normal good pitchers. I just think, the Braves aren't one of the teams I really follow all that much right early in the season. But yeah, I think it's just one thing they're getting adjusted to the pitch, their new pitchers, and again, pitchers are always ahead of hitters at this point, except unless you're the Yankees and you got different bats. But yeah,
threw that dig at me.
We
can talk baseball all you want. Your claim to fame is one guy, Joe Carter, 30 years ago. Right? When was the last time you guys won?
They're impressive this weekend. I'll give you that.
Well, they're banging the ball quite a bit, and they're compensating for one guy departing when going to the Mets, one of their bangers, and another guy being on the shelf right now with, what does he got, tendonitis or bursitis or something?
What it is.
And losing Garrett Cole, but, they really haven't faced anybody yet. But they are banging the ball. I'm happy about that. I'm a Yankee fan, but it is early, guys. And for Braves fans, don't fret just yet. And for Dodger fans, guys, you haven't played anybody yet either. All right. Having said all that, couple of things. More things. Resorts World was in the news this week.
Yes, they were.
They got fined $100. Don't quote me on the amount, but over $100 million, the biggest fine ever for allowing sports bettors and known felons to bet sports in their casinos or something like this, guys. I got to do some more due diligence, but
is that the reason why they started laying people off because they need to save money?
That's what it says.
Really?
That's what it says. They laid off 50 major positions. They're going to lay off more.
I guess that's how they're going to, save their money in order to pay those fines.
105 million, 50 people. Each of those people make $2 million a year.
I heard it was more than that, though.
I don't know. I got to be honest with you. That was a place I went into to go make a bet, and they wouldn't take my bets. I walked in there off the cuff. We wanted to go see Julio Iglesias, right? Went in to go see
Didn't come in
Iglesias
either.
like a year ago, and I just went in to bet a couple of. I said, "Well, let me bet something. What else is left on the board?" We went in for dinner. I said, "Let me go bet a game." I went to bet a couple of times. I said, "We can't take that." So why not? We can't take that. And I know I have a friend of mine who does a lot of reviewing of sports books, and he does some work for Wager Talk and SportsMemo, and he likes the book over there. But I got to tell you, it's a garbage book. And I hate to badmouth anything Vegas, but it's a garbage book. They wouldn't take any. I just went in there off the cuff. And one of
You
the
weren't
guys said,
shady enough.
"What?
You weren't shady enough. It sounds like they only
Yeah,
take
right.
shady
Yeah,
people.
Maybe you should
Yeah.
become a criminal.
yeah." But that was the book like a year ago. I went to go see Julio Iglesias. Having said all that, let's get into some things. Dionne's got a couple of discounts she wants to tell us. Oh, by the way, we want to still welcome Big Daddy Abby Jackson, who's on the show, and Vegas Consensus Picks, who we're trying to get on the show to Sports Memo. They've got some discounts. Dionne's got some discounts. Dionne, take it away.
Yeah. So we do have a new discount for the First Family Show. You can get 7 days all sports for any of the cappers that are on the First Family Show. You'll see that scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You can get 7 days all sports from any of the cappers on the show. All you have to do is use code DAY7 upon checkout, and you get 7 days for just $49. We also do have another amazing discount going on right now for all of the new cappers that have joined Sports Memo, VCP, Abby, CBI, Sean, Tom. You can get a whole week from any of the new cappers for $34.99 for a week. It is less than $5 a day. That is an amazing deal. This way you can get to know all of the new cappers for a small price.
Now, I do want to say we're trying to get VCP on the show. Abby, Big Daddy's been on the show. He'll be on again this week. Trying to get CBI. Sean's on the show.
Mhm.
He's as busy as I am, man.
Yes, he is.
He
He's
really
a busy
is.
guy.
He's as busy as the guy in charge of firing everybody for Donald Trump. And Tom Macrina, a.k.a. Rye Cape. We got to talk to him about that a.k.a. his pseudonym. Is going to be on the show soon. I spoke to him. He's going to be working on a schedule, come on the show. But this is a great way to get to know these cappers. If you're not familiar with them, get to know them. But none of these guys, I know Vegas Consensus Picks been around 30-some years that I'm living in Vegas. Abby's been doing it for a couple of years. CBI, I want to get him on the show. I think he does college baseball.
I believe
If
so.
I'm not mistaken. Sean is a personal friend of mine for 20 years. And Tom has been like somebody that I know, and I would consider him a friend because we chit-chat from time to time. Stepping on my foot?
Just adjusting.
Okay, you're adjusting my foot. Anyway, Tom has been a friend. He's a really good guy and a great capper. This is a great way to get to know them. And then, Dionne, what else we got?
Yeah, and we still do have that MLB special going on right now where you can get 7 days of MLB picks from any of your favorite cappers on the website. There's no code needed at all for that one, and it's just $49. And you can use that as many times as you want for as many of the cappers on Sports Memo.
Guys, this is a great way. I mean, for $49, no matter what you bet, if you bet $10 a game or 10,000, any of the cappers at Sports Memo have documented numbers. They all have documented numbers on the site. We're not afraid to show you our statistics. I know there's some people out there, some places out there that do not do this. We show you our stats because we're not afraid. We have the best collection of cappers anywhere on the planet here at Sports Memo. But this is what, this is a way also you could test out a couple of your favorite cappers. Two, cost you $100 for the week. You'll get that back and then some. Having said all that, guys, you'll see the regular First Family Show discount scrolling across the bottom of your screen throughout the show. One more thing. What else did I want to say? Oh, the floor is open. So comment questions for our panel. Fire away. Any of the topics we've talked about already, or if there's any questions or comments for Dan, and myself, we'd be happy to answer them. Let's go right into some free plays. As I mentioned at the top of the show when we brought the professor on, Dan the Man, Kaiser, he is number one the last 3 days and number one the last 7 days. Overall sports over at SportsMemo. This is no small feat, guys. Any of the cappers at SportsMemo will be a number one guy on any other website on the planet, but they got the best collection of cappers. So when you're number one here, you're really number one in the world. Dan's going to tell you what he's been doing. He's going to tell you what you can expect from him on the premium side at SportsMemo. He's got a free play winner. Dan, take it away.
All right, thanks, Joe. Yeah, really good weekend in the Elite 8. Went 4-0 with 5% winners in the Elite 8. I'm on a 10-2 NHL run at the moment. And I'm up in baseball. I'm number 3 at Sports Memo in baseball so far. I know it's early in the season, but I'd rather be playing with the books money early than trying to get my money back. So my free game today, you think college basketball is almost over, and nope, new tournament starting, and it's the Crown. At first, I thought it had something to do with Crown Royal, but unfortunately, I don't think so. But I'm looking at the Boise State George Washington game here. Boise State had one of the most consistent defenses in the Mountain West Conference this season. While the one thing you can say about George Washington's offense is it was consistently inconsistent. Boise State does an excellent job on the defensive boards, which would limit George Washington's second chance points, which is sorely needed when you're a poor shooting team. And I know that watching my Spartans once again to get tons of offensive rebounds last night, but couldn't score. The Broncos have won 7 of their last 9 games, while the George Washington Revolutionaries have won 5 of their last 8 games. Boise State is the slightly better shooting team. And that will I think that will come into play here because these teams have not played in a month. So it's going to take some time, I think, to shake off a little bit of the rust and get back into, consistent offensive play. And so I'll take the better shooting team in that aspect. The Revolutionaries aren't playing well defensively to finish up the season. They gave up 73 points or more per game in the last 3 games. It's a lot of points to give up in this game with these teams that haven't played in a while. But just on paper, Boise State is the better team here. And I'm not going to throw a lot on this one, probably a half a unit play, but I'm going to take Boise State in this one.
Dan, the professor, Kaiser, says, take the Broncos to stampede your book. You like that? All right. Follow him with this free play winner. You'll follow him to the bank. But more importantly, guys, he is really killing it overall. 3 days, number 1 capper, 7 days, number 1 capper. Numbers don't lie over SportsMemo. Dan, what do you got on the premium side for everybody?
Yeah, I've got a side and total play on the first game in the Crown on the Butler game, Butler, Utah. I've got 2 plays on the ice and 2 plays in baseball.
There you go. Go over to SportsMemo after the show. You see Dan's Buzz League, sm.buzz/DK, sm.buzz/DK. Follow him. You're going to follow him to the bank. Numbers don't lie. You don't believe me? Go check out his numbers. They're pretty damn good. Not just for the last 3 and 7 days, but this for the calendar year, previous years. He's a winner. You will be too if you follow him. Dan's going to stick around.
And to be honest with you, Dan's got 6 plays up for today, right, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this would be the perfect time to use that first family show discount where you can get 7 days of Dan for just $49, considering he's got, 6 plays already today.
Listen, even if over the next six days after today, he's only got a play a day, that's 12 plays for $49.
Exactly.
But he's going to probably have a significant amount more, judging on the fact that we have college basketball, pro basketball, hockey, and baseball going. You're probably going to get multiple plays a day from Dan in multiple sports. So this might come out to be 20 plays this year. I'm not saying that's what it's going to be. 20 plays this week for Dan. You're going to get them for, $2 $2.50 a play. Or
correct.
You can't beat that because he is riding a hot streak. And the time to jump on Dan is right now at the beginning of the hot streak. All right, guys. Dan is going to stick around if you got any questions or comments for him pertaining to maybe Michigan State playing golf this upcoming week instead of playing in the Final Four. They've already made – somebody's dinging me. Look at that. Oh, my God.
Dan,
look
if
at
you
that.
want, I can punch him for you.
Wait. Well, I was just wondering. I don't remember a team from New York or Vegas being anywhere near sniffing the Final Four.
They'll never let UNLV back in that Final Four, trust me. We'll never have a team like that again. But I will tell you, they're the only team from New York that could possibly make it is Syracuse. That's it. Or an Ivy League team, but I doubt it. I doubt it very much. It's going to be a while before Syracuse even makes it to the 16, let alone the 8, let alone the 4. I don't know, maybe an Ivy League team will shock the world in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
But I doubt it. No, I don't have to. It's fine. Listen, there isn't another city in the world that has as many championships as New York has. Boston don't have it with all their Celtic championships. They ain't going to have it. Okay. New York still leads the world or the nation in world champions. So that's all right, Dan. Having said that, let me jump over and talk about the First Lady of Vegas, who's doing great work over at SportsMemo, multiple sports, every season of every sport of every year. She's in the top few in percentage. She's not a volume capper, but that's good. I like that. But I will tell you that the D'Amicos, there's always a D'Amico atop those leaderboards, if not both D'Amicos. And Dionne is one of the best big game hunters on the planet. She's got a 5% playoff in hockey today. In hockey. And I got to tell you, she's the reason why I started professionally releasing hockey plays. I did not do hockey for many years. And when she hit SportsMemo, she started doing hockey and finished the first season in the top 2 or 3. And then again, and I said, you know what? I can't have her have bragging rights in this house in hockey. But she is one of the best in the world in hockey. You don't believe me? Numbers don't lie. Go follow her over hockey. But she's got a 5% play. What's the name of your play tonight?
It is my icebreaker play, which are hitting 71% this season.
71% icebreaker? What is it?
You'll have to buy it.
I'll have to buy it. We do this every day. We don't know who each other has. Yesterday, we both had a big winner last night. Right?
Yes, Auburn.
We both had Auburn. Sorry, Dan. We both had Auburn. And we didn't know until I came in and I said, how'd you do today? I went, she's doing time at the senior center. And I went by the senior center last night and I had to go grab her, pick her up. And I said, how'd you do today? She said, how'd you do today? I said, well, Auburn covered. And I had them early this week. I put them out at 4. And she said, well, I had Auburn too. I'm like, what? I didn't even know. But she's going to tell you what she's been doing. She's going to tell you what you can expect from her on the premium side today at SportsMemo. She's got a free play winner. Dionne, take it away.
Yeah, like Joey did say, I do have one big play loaded right now over at SportsMemo. I have my 5% icebreaker play, which is hitting 71%. I do lay a little low on MLB the first, beginning of the season to kind of just see how everybody is kind of doing. And to me, the lines were a little bit high on a lot of the games, so I kind of stepped back from MLB today. So I have just the one big play on the ice today with my 5% icebreaker play. And now for today's free play, with just a handful of games left in the NHL regular season, Colorado is playing some of their best hockey. Prior to Saturday's 2-1 loss to the Blues on their own ice, the Avalanche were riding a 12-1-1 run. This is the perfect opponent for them to get back in their winning ways. They have dominated the Flames, taking 8 in a row and 9 of the last 10 matchups with Calgary, who is slumping right now, dropping 2 in a row and just can't beat Colorado. It doesn't help that their offense is one of the worst in the league, ranking 31st in scoring, accounting for a dismal 2.6 goals per game. The Avalanche crushes them. As a matter of fact, in those 9 wins in the last 10 matchups in this rivalry, only 2 have come in by a single goal. They have outscored them by a combined 36-15. That's why I'm not afraid to lay the goal and a half in this matchup here.
First lady of Las Vegas, Dionne D'Amico, says Colorado Avalanche. Minus a goal and a half will crush it. And you will crush it, too, if you follow her on that free play.
They're going to dominate them once again.
You do have a 5% play going off tonight again. Tell everybody about that one more time.
Yeah, so I do have the one big play today already loaded up at SportsMemo. It's my 5% icebreaker play, which is hitting 71% this season.
There you go. Follow Dionne. You see her buzz link, sm.buzz/DA, sm.buzz/DA. She is a winner. Don't believe me? Go check out her numbers. She's a winner at a 5% play. How much is a 5% play today?
It is $29 today.
$29. I may have to buy it. I'll tell you that. Guys, she's doing great work. And plus, she's going to be sticking around, obviously, because I can't get rid of her 25 years. She's going to be sticking around if you have any questions or comments for the First Lady. Now, it's about that time.
Break forth the
rhythm and the rhyme. Marky Mark. He's now our neighbor here. Mark Wahlberg is a Las Vegan. Guys, Pete Rose, who was a dear friend of mine for 30 years, said it's not bragging if you back it up. Joe D, I'm not humble. Number 1 college basketball capper the last 30 days on SportsMemo, or really in the world, because if you're the best at SportsMemo, you're the best anywhere. 62%, 26, 16, and 1. Number 3 overall capper last 30 days, 62% overall, 35, 22, and 1. Just want you guys to know I've got 2 big game winners tonight. 2 big game winners. I've got my NHL slap shot. This is like my oldest and most popular and most profitable NHL release. They're on an 18-8 run going back to last season, 66.6%. You really can't beat that. I've got that posted over at SportsMemo. And guess what? I came out of the gate. Now, if I would have posted as premium plays all the games I circled, I shouldn't circle, I'd be like 6-1. In baseball, but I put out one game yesterday. These little town blues all melting away. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. I put the Yankees out. Yes, I just thought it was a good situation for them. I as a home run play, it won for everybody. I've got a grand slam play, very popular play. Every year they hit like 65 to 75%. Granted, I want you to know I don't put out a million plays, but when I put them out, they're going to make money. Both plays are posted at Sports Memo right now. Like I said, number one, a top capper overall last 30 days. NHL runs 6-3. I have my 18-8 slap shot play. My grand slam is up there. Follow me. You're going to follow me to the back. I want to talk about a free play winner. This almost made it as a premium say. Guys, the Texas Rangers opened the campaign off taking the series at home against the Boston Red Sox. Boston fans. They dropped the season opener only to win the next 3 games with authority. They quickly took control of the competitive American League West, going 3-1 so far. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Reds, despite sitting in second place in the NL Central, they're just 1-2, guys. Doesn't take a lot to be in second place in the Central. They played a tough series at home, dropping 2 of 3 against the San Francisco Giants. These 2 teams met once last season at the end of April, as Texas took 2 of 3 at home. Both lineups are accounting for about the same scoring output right now. The big difference has been pitching. There's no comparing the Reds' atrocious staff to the Rangers' stellar squad. Speaking of pitching, Cincinnati will send Brady Singer to the hill. The right-hander was 9-3 in 2024. But, and as you all know, I love a very big but. But in 5 career starts against the Rangers, he is 0-3 with a whopping ERA of 5.18. The pitching excitement in this matchup certainly revolves around Texas, my friends. Right-hander Kumar Rocker. Guys, there's a lot of excitement about this kid. Gets the nod today. If you recall, he was a huge standout star at Vanderbilt and the 3rd overall pick in the 2022 MLB draft. In 5 spring training games, he allowed 3 home runs, and he went up against some bangers. I'll tell you that. But struck out 20 in 13 innings pitched. This guy's got an arm on him, okay? I think he's going to get a good outing here, and I think he's certainly going to get some run support from Texas against the weak pitching staff of Cincinnati. This game almost made it as a premium play for me today. I think the price is short, so I'll take the Rangers as a small favorite, guys. I will tell you, play that game. You're going to play it and win it. It did almost make it as a premium play, but I've got a big NHL play and a big MLB play posted. Let's bring Dan back. We got a couple of things, and if you missed any of our free plays, we'll run them down in a minute. Dan, any closing thoughts or comments for our panel, guys?
But the funny thing you said earlier about Right Cape, about wanting to find out how the name comes about. I'll tell you, I've known Right probably 6 years, I think, probably since COVID or maybe before COVID. Me and Nick Parsons started doing like live shows during NFL football and stuff, and then added a few people in, and Rye was one of the guys that came in. And like I said, I've known him 5 or 6 years, and until we're doing NASCAR shows together, whatever, until recently when he actually started showing up on sports betting sites as Tom McCrane. Now, that's the first time I actually knew what his real name was, so I don't even know where Rye Cape comes from.
We got to find that out. You mentioned NASCAR. Now, Dan, between me and you, I've got a couple of friends that drive NASCAR. Do you consider that a sport, really? I don't consider it a sport.
No.
Let them turn right. I want to see them turn right. I want to see them turn right just once. I think it's more of a hobby, like bowling. When a fat, out-of-shape guy that can't breathe can be really good at something, it's not a sport, it's a hobby. I got a buddy of mine. He's like 280, 5'2". He just bowled a 285, 290 the other day. He put up on social media. Love you, Mike. But I want you to know, guys, this guy can't get from point A to point B without some oxygen. I got friends. I do this all the time with friends of mine in NASCAR. I said, it's not a sport. My father's 93. He can drive in traffic faster than you guys drive on a track. I said, so don't tell me it's a sport, but I mess with him.
All right. Okay,
Is golf
a sport? Yeah. Is golf a sport?
I think golf is the toughest of all sports in the world to master. Do I consider it a sport? Let me tell you, the only real sport is baseball, because you could take a guy that's good in any other sport, you put him in a batter's box, he can't hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball or an off-speed pitch, but you can take a baseball player and he can excel in any other sport. I will tell you this, by far, the toughest sport is baseball. Toughest sport to master consistently is golf. Is it a sport? Well, John Daly proves that fat guys that are out of shape.
Well, I was going to say, I was waiting for the answer. Because I was going to say, but explain John Daly.
I got to tell you something funny. I want to tell.
Golf is boring to watch, though.
It's great sport to play, but it's the most unforgiving sport there is. It's like being in a marriage. I will tell you this. No matter what you did yesterday, it doesn't count because it only counts as what you do today. I'm going to tell you a funny story. Dionne knows the story well. I was at a friend of mine owns a famous place here in town, Field of Dreams, in the Caesars Forum shops. He brought in Jim Kelly. He introduced me to Jim many years ago. We got to talking. We went to play golf. I devoured him on the golf course. When I tell you devoured, I devoured him. Wasn't even close. It was like a real pro playing somebody who's first time, and I started aggravating him. Got him. He gets mad easy. But we were talking, and he said, and we were talking about sports memorabilia. And he says, I got a great collection. He came to my home. In this office, you see this 500 pieces here, maybe more. And he said, what's your most prized piece? And I said, well, to be honest with you, I got two prized pieces. Really, my son's first home run ball ever in T-ball and the game ball that I get when I won the Little League World Series representing our country. I said, but I got some other things I'm very proud of. I said, what's your most prized piece? And he said, I have a Dale Earnhardt Jr. fire suit. And I said, you consider that a sport? We got into such an argument. It carried over, for all you Buffalo fans, into Thurman Thomas. Well, I see you go, Thurman Thomas, the greatest running back ever. I said, bullshit. I said, he took himself out of the Super Bowl with stomach cramps. My wife gets stomach cramps every month. So does every other woman. I said, you want to talk about tough guys? Emmitt Smith, the guy that crushed you a couple of times in the Super Bowl, had a separated shoulder, played in 4 games against 4 of the best defenses in football, didn't peep once, and Thurman Thomas took himself out with stomach cramps. I said, talk about Ronnie Lott. They said, would you like to play in the Super Bowl or take your finger? He said, take the damn finger. All right? That's a tough guy. I said, we got into a big argument. He stormed out of my house and everything. He stormed out. Thurman Thomas. Listen, Buffalo guys, I'm not going to argue that Thurman Thomas wasn't a great athlete. He took himself out of the Super Bowl with stomach cramps. Guys, every woman in the world gets stomach cramps a week out of every month. They don't stop. The world doesn't stop because of it, because they keep going. He had stomach cramps. So that's what I got to say about Thurman Thomas. Jim Kelly, and I have not spoken a word since. I want you to know that. And it is true, though, Dan. You want to talk tough guys. Thurman Thomas ain't no tough guys. Emmitt Smith, I know he had the great offensive line. He played 4 games against 4 of the best defenses with a separated shoulder, never made a peep. And if you recall, Emmitt Smith, while he did have that great offensive line, he had that record. And I don't count all these records, but they couldn't tackle. He was a guy, an elusive running back, who it was like the 3rd, 4th, or 5th contact before you tackled him. Now I'm going to say, what? Don't tell me about Thurman Thomas.
No, I'm not going to argue Thurman Thomas, but I will Emmitt Smith. We can have that argument next time I'm in Vegas.
Okay, you got it. All right. I will tell you that tough guys.
I think we'll have a lot of arguments the next time we're in Vegas.
Well, that's because you drink so much. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. No, but it is true. It's true. I mean, I don't want to hear about Thurman Thomas. The guy was a great athlete. All right. Then I got to hear 2 sides of the O.J. Simpson. How could you like him? The guy was a phenomenal running back. I don't like him as a human being. All right. I don't have to like him as a human being to think I mean, I will tell you this: the greatest NFL player of all time, in my opinion, bar none, was one of the most horrible human beings ever, Lawrence Taylor. He had more of an influence on the game than any other player ever. All right. But the guy, right? What's that?
I won't argue that. I agree.
He had more of an influence and more of an impact on a game than any player. And I got to hear about Pete Rose. Listen, just because Pete Rose is my friend, did he bet in baseball? Yes, he never bet against himself. So I could, and I think Pete's problem was, Dan, the fact that he didn't come out and say, yes, I bet on baseball. This is a very forgiving country. If you come out and say, listen, Bill Clinton got caught with Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office. At least the son of a bitch was working at 2 a.m. All right. He was in the office working. All right. We can't beef with the guy. He was working at 2 a.m. All right. So, but he was at least working. He was doing work. Okay. All right. So
here's the one thing I want to see. I want to see Aaron Judge on ice skates.
Don't tell me about skating. All right. Don't tell me about hockey. Because when Canadians and Swedes can excel in a sport, it's not a sport, it's a hobby. All right, listen.
At least he said hockey, not figure skating.
Figure skating, there you go. So basically, I could get a guy like, so you're saying like Scott Hamilton, Ty Battaglia, Randy Gardner, all those ice skaters were great athletes.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You're changing. See, you're throwing up the straw man argument.
I love you. No, I'm not.
You said a baseball player can play anything. I just want to see. I just want to see Aaron Judge skating up, doing some hockey.
Take any one of those hockey. I'll tell you what, though, there can be baseball players that will excel in hockey, but it's very, very difficult to get in the batter's box and hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball or an off-speed pitch. It's the hardest thing to do in all sports. That you could take guys. Listen, I see some of these football players playing outfield or at some of these charity games or some of them playing basketball, and they're good. Get into the batter's box. Boom, boom, boom. That's all I'm saying. That's it. It's the toughest thing to do in all sports. That's the toughest thing to do in all sports. You know, you could take guys, some of the toughest guys in the world, great fighters. They can't excel in anything else. Rocky Marciano could play anything, but he was Italian. Having said that, we babbled quite a bit today, Dan. We had a lot of fun. No, we could do the hockey. How do you feel about that?
I'm not saying it's the better sport.
She's hitting me under the table, telling me to behave.
I didn't say it's a better sport. Or no, I'm just saying, but I'd like to see Aaron because he's 6'7". He's got them long legs, and I don't know. I saw, drop that ball in the World Series. Not the greatest.
Well, I'll tell you that.
He can hit a baseball a long ways, and I'll give him credit for that. Yes.
And he's got an arm and a half, and he's fast. I'll give him that. That. I will tell you this, though. If that's the case, then let's take any NBA great athlete, put them on ice skates. It's not going to be easy. Some of those guys can't walk a straight line, but they can play basketball. I mean, I will tell you this. Back in the day, height was about 95% of the game. And now it's athleticism and height. It still takes those big men in the middle, but it changed to an outside shooting game, which I think they should take the 3-point line away and see how these guys play. It gets a little annoying. It gets annoying.
I don't like today's NBA either. I don't like it. I don't because all it is the 3-point shooting contest. I don't like it.
Remember back in the day,
a bunch of sissies. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, Dionne says they're sissies.
They're a bunch of sissies. I mean, you got these guys every other day. They're sitting on the bench because they got
load management or
they're
resting their calves. I would have loved to see. Larry Bird, who I hate the Celtics. Larry Bird used to be on television timeouts. Used to lay his back on the floor for 2.5 minutes and never made a peep. He was a tough guy. I give him credit for that. Guys today, they load. Oh, I read 2 weeks ago that one of the biggest names in the NBA who makes $15 million, $20 million a year is resting because of his calf. And I went, calf? I can't imagine that.
If they deducted money from their paycheck every time they sat out, they would be on the floor a lot more than they are sitting on the bench.
They should.
I'm sorry.
I don't believe in load management and all this stuff. I don't believe it.
This is why I think Jordan, the argument who's better, Jordan, LeBron, and there's no argument because Jordan did everything he did while playing 36 holes of golf a day, drinking beer and smoking cigars and staying out all night.
And betting basketball, too. You want to talk about a guy, they don't bring it up. He was the biggest degenerate gambler of any person ever. But they let it go. Actually, Phil Jackson was never not stoned on the court. He'll come out and tell you that. But having said all that, we've probably pissed off we've ruffled a lot of feathers today.
That's why you have me on the show.
That's why we love you, Dan. That's why we love you. Let's run down some free plays. Dion's going to tell you about some discounts, and then we are out of here. Dan, what'd you have for everybody today?
Boise State minus the points in the Crown.
Dionne?
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Colorado Avalanche minus 1.5 even money because they are going to crush them once again. And
your sexy and savory host should take the Rangers. I like it, almost making it as a premium play. Dionne, tell everybody about the discounts again.
Yeah, so we do have the 3 discounts going on right now where you can get 7 days all sports for any of the cappers that are on the First Family Show. All you have to do is use code DAY7 upon checkout, and that is just $49. And you can use that for as many of the cappers that are on the First Family Show as many times as you want. 7 days, $49. Use code DAY7 upon checkout. We also do have Meet the New Cappers over at SportsMemo. For just $34.99 for a week, you can get any new capper, VCP, Abby, CBI, Sean, or Tom, $34.99. That is your best way to get to know all of the new cappers over at SportsMemo. That comes down to less than just $5 a day. We also do have the MLB discount still going on, where you can get 7 days of MLB picks from any of your favorite cappers over at SportsMemo. $49. There is no code at all needed for that one. All you have to do is go to the cappers page and pick up that deal, and you can use that one also as many times as you like.
Real quick, just so we know there's only 3 of us. Dan, what do you got on the premium side today for everybody?
Yeah, I've got 2 plays on the. I got the side and the total in the Butler game. I got two on the ice and 2 in baseball.
So that's 6 plays for Dan. Dan, what do you got going?
I have one big play up right now in hockey. I have my 5% NHL icebreaker play, and those are 71% this season.
And your sexy and savory is on fire. I've got an NHL play tonight, and I've got a baseball play, both posted over at SportsMemo, guys. Guys, we're going to get you on out of here so you could take advantage of these 3 plays. But no matter what, go over to SportsMemo, take advantage of these great discounts SportsMemo has to offer. I'm going to tell you right now, if Dan, and myself isn't your cup of tea as a capper, you will find somebody that you do relate to and is tailor-made for you. And these discounts make it even easier because over at SportsMemo, we know that saving you money is just as good as making money. It is the best website on the planet, your one-stop sports betting shop. Dionne, take us out of here, kid.
Yeah, so make sure that you follow all of us and your First Family Show guests on their social media pages and their websites. And make sure to tune in to the First Family Show for a ton of free winners, some great bidding insights, and a lot of chit-chat, and a few laughs too. And on behalf of Dan and us, this is the First Family Vegas.
Everyone out there, good luck and have a winning day. It was a